Welcome to The Craze in 10 or Less. This is the show where I give it to you in 10 minutes or under, and if I don't, whatever. It happens. Anyway, want to tell a great story? You've come to the right place. That's the topic of the day. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. Stop acting up. Let's get it. Alright. So, why this topic? I'll tell you why. No reason, just thought I'd bring it up and have a conversation with you. Anyway, so, storytelling. We've been telling stories forever since the beginning of time. You know, from the first piece. I think the first piece that everyone's been debating, the first story ever told outside of anything else, is the Epic of Gilgamesh, right? So if all the scholars and historians, they're saying this is the first story ever told, right? But what is storytelling? What is great storytelling? How do I become a great storyteller? How do you become a great storyteller? There's some simple ways to become a great storyteller. Practice. Practice. And you're probably saying, I just logged on to watch this for him to tell me to practice? This boy crazy. It's more than just practicing. Hold on. Don't walk away. Where you going? You have to listen. Remember, it's 10 minutes or less. Don't make me go longer than 10 minutes. I just might. Anyway, practice. First of all, you walk into a room. You meet a crowd of people for the first time and someone says, tell me a story. What happens? Your cheek clench up and you're like, oh. And all of a sudden, you forgot about all those experiences. Experiences, Sam? What does that have to do with storytelling? I'm glad you asked. You're asking a lot of good questions today. You're smart. You're very smart. Anyway, experiences, right? So, some key things to remember when you want to become a great storyteller is you have to become a great file cabinet of information, right? It's how are we processing and documenting those experiences that invoked emotion in us? You're like, Sam, where you going with this? Stay with me, man. Stay with me. All right, come here. So here it is. Remember the time where you all of a sudden find yourself unemployed and you're like, oh, I have enough money to get us through the next bill period, but it's not going to sustain us. I have to find a job. What am I to do? So now you go. You're updating your resume. You're updating your LinkedIn profile. You're contacting people. You're stressed out. Your wife is supportive, or your girlfriend, or maybe you don't have. Maybe it's just you. Maybe you just have bills. Maybe you have kids. Who knows? Whatever your situation, your circumstances, you're feeling the pressure. You're looking at that clock. You're looking at the dates. The next day. The bills are coming. I need a job. You go on an interview. You don't get the job. You go on another interview. You don't get the job. You don't hear from them. You go on an interview and then they call you back for a second and you're excited. Yes. And then it goes dark and you don't hear nothing. Right? And you're like, what's going on? Right? And you're going through this and that, and you're second guessing your interview skills, and you're practicing, and you're looking on YouTube how to communicate better on an interview, and you're doing all these things, and then you go in and you're like, I gotta give it my all, but I got so much to lose. I need to go in there. I need this job. And then you finally get in there and you get an offer. And that sigh of relief, and it's like the tears are coming down, the pressure. Oh my gosh, I'm not a failure in my family's eyes. I have a job. I've secured a position. I can make ends meet. The relief. Did you document that experience? Think about that. There's a story right there. It's the journey. Faced with all odds against you, with so much at stake. Time running out. And the only one that can change the situation is you. Did you document it? Or how about your wife's going to give birth to a new child? right? Your first child. You've never had a kid before. You've never been married before. It's both your first. You're married. She's pregnant. She's going to have a kid. You're making sure she eats well. You're making sure that there's no stress. She's not lifting anything. And you want to take all the burden off her shoulders. And you're going through all these things, right? And you're making sure that you're providing food and you're providing comfort and you're taking care of her needs and you're lifting her feet and you're massaging her feet, right? You're rubbing her back, right? Then it's time, right? The water breaks. Oh no, what do? I see it in the movies, right? So you rush her into the car and you're racing across the freeway. You're trying to get to the hospital. You get in there. They take her to the birthing room. You mask up. You're all in there. And then you're going to see it for the first time and you're queasy. And you're like, you've never seen anything like this before. But you're excited, but you're nervous, and you don't want anything to go wrong, and all these things, and you see the head, and everyone's there, and they're pulling the baby out, and you don't hear anything, and you stop breathing for a second. Wait, isn't the baby supposed to cry? What's wrong? And then you hear it, and then everybody, the joy and tears start pouring down, and the hugs, and the crying, and the mom, they put the baby on the mom's chest and she's holding the baby and you're holding your wife and you're celebrating, and there she is, or he is. Did you document that? Think about it. Life is a story. You want to be a great storyteller? Capture all those moments that invoked an emotion within you. Capture all those moments that took you on a roller coaster ride from start to end. All those challenges, all those faces of adversity, all those moments of difficulty, all those moments of triumph, all those moments of laughter. Document that. Whether it's on your phone, on your notepad, have something that says storytelling or stories of my life. And then every time you have a moment where there's a reaction, emotional reaction, document it. Let's go funny, right? You get up in the morning, you're like, oh, the alarm clock's going off. I gotta go to work again, man. And you turn off the alarm clock and it goes back off again. You're like, oh, forget it. And you get up and you put your feet on the floor and you step on your dog's poop and you're like, oh, Fido, right? And now you're hobbling into the bathroom and you have to clean your feet. Then you gotta go back and you gotta clean it up. And it's 5 a.m. You're trying to wake. You're not to wake anybody up. And you clean everything up. And then you go into the shower and you turn the shower off. You go to the kitchen. You put on the pot to get your coffee. You start walking back. You jump in. You forgot that your shower takes a minute to get hot. And you jump in and it's freezing. And you jump and you slip and you hit your head. You're like, oh man. Right? And then you're like, this is not going well. And you're getting ready and you're going up and it was just raining overnight. Now you have to go to the bus, right? Because you don't have a car and you're walking to the bus stop and next thing you know, and you get splashed with water. But you don't have time to go back home and change. And you're like, you son of a biscuit eater. You son of a biscuit eater. Right? And you have to get on that bus and you got to keep your pride together. And you're like, this is just crazy. And you go and sit on the bus. And next thing you know, there's somebody who hasn't bathed in a minute that sat next to you. And you're like, oh. And you're holding your breath. And you're like, man, where's that funk coming from? This is my life. What's going on? And now you're stuck in traffic and you're like, son of a summoner. And you're like, I'm never gonna get to work. I'm gonna get in trouble. My boss is gonna be up my neck. Oh, and then you finally get off and you're walking in and next you know, poop, bird poop on your forehead. And you have no other thing to do but laugh. And you start laughing because you realize how ridiculous the day has gone. And you walk in and everybody sees you and they start laughing with you because they see how you didn't take it seriously. And they're like, oh man, you have a great sense of humor, man. I would have been pissed. And then you realize, oh, this reaction had a domino effect on others. And now you go to the bathroom, you wash it off, you clean up, and now the rest of your day is bliss. Because your mindset changed. And you're like, oh, and you learned something about yourself. Did you document that? So what I'm saying is, to be a great storyteller, you have to be a great observer and a great documenter of stories. because that's you're pulling from life and you're pulling from experiences. And those experiences and those journeys and those stories are going to help facilitate your craft as you start telling a brand new story. I hope that makes sense. If it does, give me a thumbs up. If you like this episode, let me know. Put your comments below. Hey, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate your feedback. By the way, A Kid in a Comic. Go to akidinacomic.com and get Duty as a comic strip. Duty's officially published by A Kid in a Comic as a comic strip. 7 issues, 7 newspapers throughout the year, distributed to comic stores and bookstores across the globe. And if you haven't picked it up already, get yourself a copy of the graphic novel, There's an Alien in My Toilet, now available on the website. And for you Kickstarter backers, they'll be here tomorrow. So I will have my shipment from Comics Wellspring tomorrow, and I start shipping them out this week. So by the end of the week, it'll be out and out to you guys. I thank you all for your support. With that said, I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. This is the Crazy 10 or Less. You guys have a blessed day. Peace.